Gents, what's up? What's up, degenerates? This is the IN Baseball Show. I am your host, Mason Cameron at PFF_Mason on the Twitter. And if any of you guys were here last time, you guys know we're rocking it out with the whole MLB season. It's going to be awesome. We have the Brenden Fleming here. B, what's up? How are you doing today? I'm excited that we get to link up and talk more baseball here.
I'm good. Thanks for having me again. Excited to, talk about the season. It's been a fun April, so it's going to be fun to recap and go through what's been going on.
Yeah, definitely. I've got, you guys rocked it out last time, so I had to rep the Rockies today, even though they have 12 wins and are on pace for over 100 losses, but
Don't
that's
worry.
okay.
My team is not much better right now, so.
Well, the funny thing is that they literally still sell out Coors Field for some reason. It makes no sense to me. But anyway, we have senior IN analyst Mike Burland. Mike, how are you doing today? I know that you are probably enjoying some weather. You're getting to watch some baseball. How are you living?
Yeah, all good. I love that intro too that we had. Our new intro, our baseball intro to this video was pretty awesome. But yeah, things are good. Fortunately, my team's doing a little bit better than your guys' team. Not, they're doing well. They're not blowing things out of the park, but fun to watch. They came down here to Mexico, which is where I'm at, and played a couple games, which was cool to see. So yeah, I am excited to talk some more baseball with you guys.
And we're excited to do it. And yes, we do have some new graphics and some new intro stuff, all thanks to our fearless leader, Steve Bonham. I owe Steve quite a few beers from all the graphics that he's made me over the last 12 months. But anyway, we'll skate right into it. So, boys, we got a lot of cool stuff we're going to break down today. We're going to break down some of the teams, how they're doing, some of the storylines, how they're going. And then we have a nice, fun little tidbit at the end that's going to go into what we were talking about last time with the City Connect jerseys. We're going to do a little tier list, a little ranking. So that's going to be a lot of fun. There's a bunch of them out so far, but I know we talked about it. Not everybody has a jersey out yet. So we'll probably revisit it maybe a little bit further down the road and see what we can't come up with. But there's definitely some cool jerseys on there. So that should be a lot of fun. But I guess we'll just head right into it. We won't waste too much time. There's a lot of stuff that you guys wrote down here. Gosh, I need a drink. Hold on. There's a lot of stuff you guys wrote down here that we're looking at. Some players that are playing amazing, some teams that are doing great. I think we're going to start off here with Luis Arraez batting .435 after the first month. I'm not going to lie, guys. I don't keep up with the stats that closely. How is somebody hitting .435 through 30 days of the season? I just don't understand.
Some would say it's impossible. I would say it's impossible that he's doing it, but he's clearly doing it. And if you're to look at his Baseball Savant page, which has like a bunch of advanced stats, you'll see that he's in the 100th percentile of expected batting average, 100th percentile of strikeout percentage, and he's just hitting everything that's coming over the plate, and it's very good for this Marlins team. They're starting 16-13, which is a little bit better than I think a lot of people would have thought. And he's definitely been one of the big reasons why.
I mean, yeah, if you're hitting everything, like you would definitely imagine that's an insane number to see. Mike, what's your take on that? I'm just gobsmacked, frankly.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I mean, I think the last player to hit 400 was Ted Williams in like the 50s or something. So it's obviously incredibly hard to do. Arraez was right before the season. I think they traded for him. They traded away one of their pitchers to the Twins for Arraez. It was kind of a win-win for both teams, I would say, because Twins needed pitching. They got Pablo Lopez, and then we see what Arraez is doing for this Marlins team. It's incredible. I mean, usually guys maybe will hit 400 over like a week or a series or a couple weeks, but to do it he's at 437 now, and we're 5 days into May. So it's impressive. It's fun to watch. It's great about baseball is like they play every day. You get to watch these these potential record-setting seasons, unfold every day. We're going to talk about more with some home run guys, but yeah, it's insane. It's insane. I think his on base percentage is like almost 500. So that's like Barry Bonds peak steroid era type of numbers, or just getting on base every other at bat, which is insane. So
yeah, absolutely. And baseball is a game of statistics. It's a game of longevity. So obviously keeping up a 435 margin here throughout the whole season is going to be hard, but as you guys just said, doing it in a 30-day period or even like just a couple of week period is impressive enough. So to see how far this can go, the good news for Luis is that he could probably not hit a ball for the next week and still have a really great average. So that's a nice big one there. And you guys were talking about it there. This Marlins team is, they're a bit behind, but they're out there competing with the Mets. You guys think that this is kind of the stuff that they need to go out and really make a name for themselves in their division?
I think so. Marlins, basically what they've been the last couple of years is just like a team that can pitch but can't hit. Like they have young pitchers. They always have young players. They're always trading away their young players, but they never go out. They can never hit. And so we see them, they're one game below 500, third in that division. That's definitely the Braves division to win. They're in that tough division with the Braves, the Mets, the Phillies. But I think they could be around 500. And if you stay around 500 and you have a good week, you have a good couple weeks, you're right there. You're right there to put yourself in playoff position, put yourself in, win the division. You just got to stay around 500. And I think they can with their pitching. And I think their best pitcher, the Cy Young winner last year, Sandy Alcantara, is not even playing very well. So I don't know. I like this Marlins team. They're always fun to watch. Young guys, bunch of young guys doing well. So
yeah, and that's good. And having even a little bit of headway on the Phillies right now is probably good with them getting healthier, obviously. So that's going to be an interesting battle moving forward. It's so funny how that division is too, because it's so strong. Lots of teams have come out of there to play in the World Series, and you have the Nationals 13-19, and they were playing for one not that long ago. So it's an interesting case study in divisional parity for sure, because we'll definitely get into the real division here a little bit later, Mike, the NL West, because your Padres are right in there. We talked about my Rockies, who definitely don't have a chance after 1 month of play. I'm not gonna lie, that's a little bit further than they usually go anyway, so shout out to that. But we'll head into some other players that you guys have been watching here. And another one that we were highlighting here is Xander Bogaerts, who's reached base every game this year so far, 30 straight, 32 straight back to last year. And it actually just ended on Wednesday.
Yes,
I'm seeing. So that's tragic, but that's still an amazing feat. That's an amazing run. What did you see with that one, Mike?
I will say, so Xander on my Padres, the streak should still be going, because what happened was he was at bat. There was a runner. Juan Soto was on first base. Xander actually got a single to right field, but it was a play where the right fielder kind of dove and he trapped the ball, where the ball bounces and goes directly into the glove. And Juan Soto, running to second, thought he caught it, ran back to first. So they throw the ball to second, get Juan Soto out. So what it becomes is a fielder's choice.
Yeah.
And it takes away the hit. It should have continued. And he got on base yesterday. So really it should be 34 straight and 32 to start the season. But obviously in the record books.
So he got hit with a play that wasn't even him.
Wasn't even him. He got a single. Yeah, got a single to right field, and Juan Soto, for whatever reason, wasn't reading his base coaches and just kind of ran back. It turned into a fielder's choice, and that doesn't go into the record books as getting on base. So in my heart, their streak's still going. As a Padres fan, I'll follow it, but it's not going to be part of the record. So
Juan's got that big contract. He better be buying some steaks or something. Some I'm sorry steaks, because that's messed up.
And that's one of the things that you're taught like early base running when you're learning the fundamentals is that don't watch the play, don't keep your eye on the ball, just focus on the base and your base coaches. So that's it's a tough break for sure.
That's honestly tragic.
It's a tough break.
That is absolutely terrible. B, when you look at the NL West, what do you see out of this division? What's really like impressed you? I know that we've talked about Mike's Padres, we've talked about the dumpster of the Colorado Rockies. And obviously the Dodgers are still up here, at the top of this division, but it is really close. The Diamondbacks are playing well. What surprised you maybe about the West?
You just mentioned it. It's the Arizona Diamondbacks. I mean, this was a team that was I don't remember what they were last year. I think they were a little bit below 500, but they called up some of the young guns that they had in AAA. And now they're looking like a very solid squad. This is looking like a team that could be buyers come trade deadline and could be fighting for a wild card spot if they keep this current pace.
Yeah, it's such a strong division. I wouldn't be surprised to see a wild card team come out of there for sure, especially with how everybody plays. Only one game separates 1, 2, and 3. Dodgers, Diamondbacks, Padres, right there. So it's right there in it. And just like we talked about with the Padres, if you're got a guy like Xander Bogaerts who's getting on base every damn play, like, you gotta love it. You absolutely gotta love it.
Yeah, it's an interesting division. A little surprising. You would think that either basically no one ran away with it after the first month. Everyone was floating around 500 or a couple games above. You would have thought maybe the Padres or Dodgers would have put a separation between, the other teams. But yeah, I mean, all those 3 teams at the top, 1 game separation. Diamondbacks were like hot to the end of the year last year. They're looking strong. Dodgers they won 5 straight until yesterday. Actually, the Dodgers and Padres are playing a series this weekend where Padres took the first game. Padres, I think, are 10-4 since Tatis has come back, which is something to look out for. He's kind of like he had 2 home runs last night. It's like he hasn't been, the guy missed a year and a half of baseball. It's like he hasn't missed any time at all. He kind of come back into it, and he's playing well. Juan Soto's starting to hit well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what my Padres can do this month. But again, Dodgers are going to be the Dodgers for sure. They're going to be there, and the Diamondbacks can hit. They have a couple good pitchers, with Gallen. So it's going to be a fun division to watch for sure.
And, I might be a bad Rockies fan for this, but on my bucket list is to eat a Dodger dog. I don't know why. Just because they look overrated. Obscene. Are they overrated? Yeah, oh, man. You guys just broke my heart. I don't know.
I mean, you should definitely still try it for the culture, but it's a little overrated.
Because I'm not going to lie. They look like they have a good time there. And, we're going to talk about it a little bit later, but attendance is obviously up around the MLB. And I think that's kind of definitely one of the tidbits of like getting to go to the games and having fun and doing the different things that all the stadiums have. And that's definitely one that I'm excited for sure. Oh gosh. I guess I shouldn't be drinking beer at noon, but anyway.
Not on the clock.
It's Saturday.
It's all right. Steve's not watching. He will never know. Oh, and I dropped my headphone. There we go. My obligatory headphone drop. I got 1 per show. That means we're good for the rest of the show, boys. Don't worry about it.
Now we just need the cat.
Yeah, now I just need my cat. Where is she? She's back there, like moping. I don't know if you guys heard her earlier, but she was meowing. She ran into the wall, hit the wall so loud. I was like, no shot that nobody heard that, but that was wild. But anyway, she'll be all right. She's rambunctious. So here we go. We have some other players that you guys have been highlighting here. We have Max Muncy, 12 home runs, Devers, Wisdom, and Alonso with 11. That's a lot of bombs, guys. B, what do you make of the high-powered bats that are flowing so far early in the season?
It's fun. It's always fun to watch home runs, in my opinion. But if you were to tell me those names to this point in the season, I would for sure believe you on Pete Alonso and maybe Rafael Devers. Max Muncy leading the league is a pleasant surprise. Love Max Muncy and Patrick Wisdom as well. He had a 25 home run season last year, but his hitting was down in other departments. But seeing his improvement this season has been very good, and they're definitely taking advantage of people like Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton being on the IL and leading the way in home runs. But you probably think when those two get back, they'll probably hit the ball out of the park, especially in very fairly smaller dimensions with Yankee Stadium. But it's fun. Ball go far, team go far. That's
ball go far, team go far.
That's the motto.
I love that. Ball go far, team
motto.
go far. That's amazing. And what's always surprised me is like how in major league sports and like big time sports, we still have things like the dimensions of ballparks are different to center field and to left field, and you got like a short porch at Yankee Stadium. It's just that's one of those things that it's like, hey man, no wonder a lot of guys hit home runs there and want to go there to play there, because you're gonna jack up your stats and earn yourself a whole lot of money hitting it out to a short 380 in right field or whatever it is out there. So
yeah, and that's one of the reasons why your Coors Field is also a very attractive park too, because while it's one of the bigger dimensions, it kind of has to be because the air is so thin out there.
the ball
flies.
fly.
So that's one of the things I love about baseball is having a unique stadium for each team with unique dimensions. It gives a nice little character to the game.
Yeah, definitely. Unless you're the Astros and well, they put a wall up there, didn't they?
They did.
In center.
Yeah. They had a hill with the flagpole.
Imagine if you're playing center field, hiking up that hill to catch a fly. Like, that's wild. It's also like obscenely far out there too, I'm pretty sure.
It was, yeah. It was like
so. We talked about some other guys that we think. Mike, who are some guys that you're surprised with that might not be one of these four that we listed that is also hitting the ball really well and kind of, making a name for themselves and pushing their team further with this long ball? Anybody that's standing out to you?
Yeah, I mean, Brent Rooker for Oakland, he's right behind these guys with 10 home runs, one of only 5 guys with double digits. And this guy, one, you're on Oakland, and that's just, we're going to talk about them later. It's just kind of a dumpster fire there. And Brent Rooker, I don't think he's even played that much in the league, in the majors. He's had some games. I guess he had one season where he started or played in 58 games, but other than that, like he hasn't played more than 20 games in a year in a season. So this guy's coming out. I think he's leading in OPS, in on base percentage, in slugging. Like the entire MLB is just like, where did this guy come from? So that would be fun to watch to see if he keeps it up. But yeah, everyone just loves a good home run race. I think even though baseball is kind of maybe, football is taking its place and basketball is more popular, if there's a home run race, it feels like it gets the entire nation kind of involved. I still remember where I was when like McGuire and Sosa were going back to back, chasing each other, and Barry Bonds, setting the home run record. And last year, I remember watching working on college football, and they were putting in live feeds of Aaron Judge's at bats.
We watched every Aaron Judge at bat for like 2.5 weeks, and you didn't even have to watch anything you were watching. You could be watching like Desperate Housewives or something, and they were showing Aaron Judge at bats in the bottom corner for sure.
Yeah, so it kind of it captivates everyone, and these guys. It's still very early, but these are the guys to kind of look out for. I think they're all on pace for 55 plus home runs. So some of the guys to look out for. But yeah, Brent Rooker doing what he's doing is pretty amazing, to be honest. I mean, just looking at his stats, it's like, especially for Oakland, it's easy to just kind of give up on that team, but not for him, that's for sure.
No, he knows that if he shows out for Oakland, they're going to deal him to a good team because that's all they ever do. They never let anybody flourish there. As soon as you're an asset, they deal you. Yep. And maybe that's for good reason because they're not going to be there much longer, I guess. Speaking of speaking of, how do you guys feel about the move of the A's to Vegas? I felt like it was kind of, written in, the writing was on the wall, but it still kind of sucks to see these kind of historic teams get pulled from places like that. What's your guys' take on the move to Vegas for them?
Yeah, I think it's a stab in the back for all the A's fans that really wanted better for their team. And I think the ownership kind of took spite of them like not showing up to their games for the past couple of seasons because of how they've been running the team into the ground. And that coupled up with them not being able to get a solid deal in the stadium in Oakland, which was going to look really nice. It I guess it just looked more attractive to them to go to Vegas, which, with that ownership that really shouldn't have been there in the first place to treat the team like that. I feel for the fans of Oakland that are losing out on a baseball team that's been there for so long.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a tough break for sure. And especially since like there's a lot of stuff that goes around in the background, but the fact that I mean, I don't know all the details of this, but a lot of the times it's like this city wants to, but then they're not like willing to give an obscenely huge like tax cut or like break or like pay for the stadium, like make taxpayers pay for the stadium and then owners just threaten to leave. I feel like you see that happen more and more. It happened, with the Thunder. It's happened with Oakland's had two teams stripped from them. Like, imagine that. Like, that's a tough break for anybody, and for pretty similar reasons because the city didn't want to pick up a huge tab for, billionaire ownership that wants to move the team anyway. They're going to do anything they can to move the team, as we saw with like the LA moves in the NFL, where nothing ever mattered with what St. Louis ever said. The Rams were always going to be in LA. So that is a tough break. Mike, what are you feeling? Even though that is a tough break for Oakland, obviously, it is cool that the game gets to expand. Or actually, I guess I wish it would have expanded into Vegas because I love to see Vegas being added into the fold. Vegas is, probably my favorite city in the entire U.S. I won't expand on that, but yeah. So it's definitely going to be kind of cool. Mike, what do you see with this A's team? Are they going to be able to take some strides and maybe give some people some stuff to cheer about with how good they've been playing, or are they destined for mediocrity?
Yeah, this season's tough for sure. It's like they're kind of reenacting. I mentioned it in the Discord, like reenacting the movie Major League a little bit of just like putting together a bunch of guys. They're on pace, I think, now to lose 128 games, which is insane. Not even win more than 35 or something. It sucks. Like you guys were saying, just because Oakland, yeah, it's a team with a lot of history. I think they're tied for third most like World Series wins. I know they haven't won one since like '89, but they're right there with behind the Yankees. The Cardinals. I think they're tied with I forget which other team, but
that sounds like an absolute just kick to the.
It is, and those fans show out when that team's good. They've been good over the last. It's not like they've been bad for 10 years. They've had some moments the last 5-6 years of having teams in the playoffs, and those fans show out, man. And that stadium gets pretty loud, and but yeah, it is complicated with who's really at fault type of thing. Like you said, they lost the Raiders, they lost Golden State. Now they're going to lose. They're going to lose the A's as a team. I'm a Chargers fan, NFL team. Losing them from San Diego to LA really, really sucked. And it's just, it feels like a stab in the back kind of from the ownership, but also how much is the city at fault and can't they find, a balance? But it'll be interesting to see a team in LA or Las Vegas. It's awesome to get that. I think you're going to get a lot of fans going there, a lot of people coming for the weekend, go see a ball game. So we'll see how that turns out for sure. But yeah, it sucks for the fans.
Yeah.
For sure.
Especially, to have 7 wins, it's hard to sit there and not equate the correlation between having just 7 wins and this news coming out that your team is moving and that you would assume that every fan that goes there feels some type of way about it. So any fans that are going to their games are probably not exactly happy about, everything that's going down. So that is a really tough break. Hopefully they can string together some magic and get something going here. Not that they're going to win the division because they're probably way out of that, but let's just hope they don't lose 130 games. That would be nice. Speaking of absolutely atrocious records so far, the Royals also 8 wins, 8-25. They are on pace to lose 123 according to our math. Wow. B, what do you make of that?
That's AL Central baseball for you. That's really the best way I gotta explain it, because nobody really expected this team to do a lot this year, but 8-25. I think 8-25 is unfair personally, because there are several games that I've seen them in that, like, they've definitely been in the game, but have not been able to, like, suppress giving up so many runs. Like recently, they like a couple days ago, they just had a 10-13 loss to Baltimore, and they just lost to Oakland 12-8. So, like, it's possible for them to get run support. It's just it's just that they have to find a way to get, like, they've been in a rebuilding stage for a while now, ever since, like, it feels like 2016, 2017. They need to figure something out that'll work, because they're gonna be in limbo for a while at this rate.
That's got to be so frustrating to be a batter too, and you're like, dude, we just put up 10 runs in a game and we still are losing. Like, you really got to hate that. And you talk about the Central. I want to get your take on your White Sox here a little bit live. For anybody that didn't check it out, B just dropped a great piece kind of breaking down the White Sox and everything that they're going through right now. And you can find that on the website, importantnonsense.com. And you can check that out. That's on our brand new website, and you're going to love reading that. So, B, what's your take on maybe the Central as a whole and your White Sox and where they sit in the fold?
So, right now it is Minnesota's division to lose. Surprisingly, Detroit is in second at 14-17 right now. Don't know what's going on with Cleveland. I haven't been paying too much attention to them because I don't like them. But anyway, getting to the White Sox, I kind of wrote about it in my article last week. But long story short, they absolutely need to sell the team at some point soon, because we've been in a cycle of middling second, third in the division and showing no signs of improvement, just because that's what the owner likes to do. He doesn't like to spend money. It's just how it is. However, that being said, the day I dropped that article, they broke a 10-game losing streak against the Rays, and now they've won 4 of their last 5 games. So maybe that was the win that turns it around.
They needed that. They needed a little shot from B right there. I got you.
So right now they're in Cincinnati. Tim Anderson just got back from injury, which, if he's in the team and he's hitting and he's scoring, they're normally winning games. And you also have several people that just started rehab assignments, most notably Liam Hendricks, who beat stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which was a fantastic story, and is very, very great to see that he'll be back within the next, hopefully, 2 weeks after a rehab stint in Charlotte. And then also Yohan Moncada's down there right now, and Garrett Crochet is in Double-A. So the bullpen will be getting some arms, and the offense will start. They're starting to figure it out now. Luis Robert is looking better at the plate. Eloy Jimenez is looking better at the plate. They still have a chance. They have a chance to pull a 2019 Nationals, if I'm being optimistic.
Okay.
Because they have a chance. But yeah. I don't know if I'm ready to put all my eggs in the basket right now. Just because, 11-22 is very hard it's a very hard hole to dig yourself out of. But then again, this is the American League Central Division that we're talking about. We just beat the Twins 2 out of 3 in our series that we just had this week. So, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, as much as it is, it's still only 4 games back from second place because, like you said, Detroit's 14-17, and they're right there. So, and you raised a good point. Hendricks, didn't they say that he had that for like the whole year? Didn't he pitch with that?
Yeah, I think he pitched with it. He noticed it in June. Like there were lumps in his neck and at his hips, and he finished the season with it. He still got an All-Star appearance, which is insane, and was still in the consideration for reliever of the year, which Clase won. But if he was still pitching with that and he wasn't feeling himself and he was still putting up a pretty decent year last year, I'm very excited to see the old Liam Hendricks back.
That's insane, because I'm not gonna lie, I get like a little bit of a headache or a fever and I'm out for, I'm on the 10-day DL. So I could imagine going out there and pitching every day in the summer heat.
Yeah,
I get all that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Mike, still on the AL Central.
Yeah.
What's going on in the AL Central? Obviously the Twins are playing well. What are the Twins doing right?
Yeah, I mean, good combination of just hitting and pitching, which is what you need. Their superstars are staying healthy for the most part, and Buxton, who again, this guy's like Byron Buxton is like an MVP caliber player. He just can't stay healthy. Carlos Correa, who's actually not even playing that well, and they're still winning. They got Joey Gallo kind of having a bounce back year after a tough year, mostly in New York last year. And then they finally, the problem with the Twins has always been, can they pitch? And freaking Sonny Gray, the guy has a .77 ERA this year, probably has been the best pitcher over the first month or so of the season. Like that guy's pitching insane right now. Joe Ryan's pitching well, Pablo Lopez and pitching well. So they're doing it, but at the same time, it's like, they're 19-14. I think that's the lowest win percentage of any team leading their division. So like Brenden said, it's these other teams there. Can the White Sox get hot type of thing? I don't think the Tigers. We'll see. I mean, I don't think the Tigers are going to do much. It's basically Cleveland or White Sox. Like your opportunity's still there. Like your chance is still there to kind of have a good week, and you're right back in it because you don't have the Rays in your division. You don't have the Braves in your division. These teams winning 20 plus games already. So, but I like the Twins. I can see them keeping this up again, just because it's never been an issue of offense with them. It's always been pitching, and they seem to have at least 2-3 starters doing quite well, and their bullpen as well. They have some good players in there. So excited to see, the Twins, and hopefully they can kind of keep it up.
Yeah. And you said it perfectly. And that's going to bring us up to one of our next points here. This is a division that's a little bit closer. The ceiling isn't quite as high as some of these other ones. And like we just talked about, when you have teams like the Tigers and Cleveland and these other teams kind of in the middle right there, you can potentially leap over them if you're a White Sox, or just any of those teams. It is a really open division, but one of the divisions that's not so open, which we did just highlight a second ago, Mike, is what's going on in the AL East. The Rays are still just absolutely on fire. They have less losses than some teams have freaking wins right now, which is insane. 27-6. And of course, everybody is going to feel so good about this. The New York Yankees, 17-16, just above 500 in last place in the East. Mike, what is going on in the East? It's insane.
It is insane. Like, it's insane. I mean, we're talking about the Rays and, their incredible starts. They won, the first 13 games. They're on pace to win, I think 132 games. But yet they're only 4.5 games up on second place. We just talked about second place in the AL Central is 3 games under 500. Second place in the AL East is 22-10. One of 4 teams with 20 wins. I think there's 5 teams with 20 wins, and 3 of them are in this division. So the Red Sox got hot, 8-2 in their last 10, which not a lot of people were expecting much from the Red Sox. I think most people would have had them in last place this year. The Blue Jays 19 and 14 in fourth place. Yeah, like you said, the Yankees. But yeah, the Rays are just fun to watch. They're just doing it. Those guys, I love popping on a Rays game because it's just they're fun to watch. They're mashing home runs. Randy Arozarena. They started. I don't know if it's a new thing or not, but I noticed they have it's called Randy Land, a section in the stadium. So every Friday, I think it is, and if he hits a home run, everyone in that section gets a free drink, beer or soda, whatever you like to drink. And yesterday, he hit a home run in like the second inning or something, which is awesome to see. Just him, giving a whole section of beer and drinks on him
Yeah.
type of thing. So, yeah, it's insane, this division. It's going to be crazy to watch, mostly because, again, the Red Sox, like 20 and 14. No one thought the Orioles. I don't think anyone thought the Orioles were going to be 22 and 10 at this point. They thought they're going to be good, but maybe closer to like 4 or 5 games above 500, not 12. So even with this historic start to the Rays and their over 800 win percentage, they're still only 4 games up. You're one bad week of just losing this division, basically, or being in second place. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Right. And the Rays, like you wrote down here, on pace to win 132 games. You're about to have like 400 win teams in this division, and it's going to be something obscene. B, what do you make of what's going on in the East? I'm personally shocked when you see the Orioles of all teams, 22 and 10, yet you have the Yankees 17 and 16. They're at least holding on above 500. What do you make of what's happening out here?
So I think the biggest thing for the Yankees right now is they've just been unlucky with injuries. I mean, you have Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton on the 10-day IL right now, and then Carlos Rodon with chronic back pain. That's going to be an issue. They don't know when he's going to come back. He was one of their big signings. So it's really just treading water until those people come back. And as long as you're above 500 when they come back, you still have a good shot in this division. But overall, looking at the division as a whole, you still have you obviously have Tampa Bay, who's 27 and 6 at the top, but you have in the wild card spots, you have the rest of the division basically. You have Baltimore in the first one, Boston in the second one, and then tied for the third one are the Angels, which are a surprise as well, and Toronto. So yeah, it's a very fun division. It's easy to say that it's the best division in baseball right now to follow. And y'all were mentioning the Red Sox. They flew under my radar as well. And a sneaky, 20 and 14 right now. It's just a fun division overall. It'll be a great division to follow in May, seeing how it separates if it does.
Yeah. And the fact that, as I look at it here, I mean, I didn't really realize it, but no other teams have single-digit losses, and the Rays have 6. They have room to lose a couple and still be under that threshold. So they're not just the best team in baseball right now. They're the best team in baseball by a wide margin, at least from the record standpoint. So that's a very interesting tidbit. And then, of course, we're going to head into some other teams that we're talking here. We're going to head over back to the NL Central, and the Pirates continue to lead. They have the best NL record through April, and they've just recently kind of fell a little bit behind the Braves here. What do we make about what's going on in the Central, B? Your rival Uptown or your rival Cubs are there. You got the Pirates playing well. The Brewers are right in it. And, of course, another perennial powerhouse just floundering at the bottom. I think that a lot of spiteful people like myself really love to see teams like the Cardinals and the Yankees lose. So, yeah, I'm not sorry about it, anybody who's a Cardinals and Yankees fan. But 10 wins, 23 losses for the Cardinals. B, what is happening in the NL Central?
Even though I don't hate the Cardinals, it's always funny to see St. Louis lose. But I don't know what's going on with the Cardinals, man. It's a surprise. Nolan Arenado, a big part of their team, is having a massive slump right now. And the starting pitching has just not been there for them. So it'll be interesting to see how they try to bounce back. But in Pittsburgh, man, Pittsburgh has been my surprise for this season so far. Through April, this team on paper was not, it was maybe a 4th or 5th place team in the NL Central. And now 20 and 13, good for like the second best record in the National League. it's been a big surprise. Former White Sox old friend Vince Velasquez has had a very good bounce back year for them. And you look at some of the people that topped their WAR. Is Carlos Santana, very good veteran. Saw him with the Royals season ago, and he's been showing up really well for them. It's just a collection of guys that are playing baseball well. That's really the best way you can think of it. You got timely hitting and timely pitching that's adding up to be very beneficial to them. And it's going to be a good test for them to start this month. They were just in Tampa. I think they got swept in Tampa Bay, and now they're in Toronto facing the Blue Jays. So they're really going to be tested. It would be good to see them go up against some good competition that if they make the playoffs and maybe go to the World Series, that's getting too far, but those would be potential World Series matchups before they go and face Colorado. I'm sorry, Nick, but
well, we know what's gonna happen there. I have no problem. I might even go see them just to see what's happening. Shit.
But yeah, this is a fun team. It's a fun team for sure.
And that's also I think the beauty of baseball too, is sometimes it's not about how much you're putting on your payroll. It's not about exactly what the roster is supposed to do or what they look like they can do, but it's about, like you just said, timely hitting, timely pitching, getting the outs when you need it, and making good with what you have on the field. And I know that that's like a cliche that every sport does, but I feel like in baseball, because of the nature of how offense is produced and how guys play the game, and how a lot of the times, even though it's a team game, it's you and the pitcher type thing. It's mano y mano, my guy versus your guy type beat. And that's not usually how a lot of other sports are. Like a lot of the times it's, hey, we're the Golden State Warriors, we're just better than you. Or we're, the Chiefs or whatever, we're just better than you. It's type thing. So I really love when you can see things like that. And like I did say, I do hate the Cardinals. I'm glad Nolan's slumping, even though actually, wait, I think you're
wearing the jersey.
Is that I'm wearing his jersey while he's slumping?
You're wearing his jersey, yeah.
That's okay. I make no apologies. Come home, Nolan. Come home and I'll apologize. Anyway.
Hey, remember the Rockies? I think the Rockies traded him. Always remember that. So
I do remember that, Mike, but you don't have to remind everybody else.
They didn't want to keep him.
You don't have to remind everybody. No, but that actually also brings up another good point with B. Flem. The Monforts need to sell the Rockies ASAP.
Absolutely.
Yes,
agreed.
For sure. Yeah, I know Central's interesting. I mean, I was just kind of looking at their standings. They've had bad 10 games, Pirates 4-6, like getting swept by the Rays, Brewers 3-7, Cubs 3-7. They started off hot. Now they're 500. Man, the Cardinals, I'm glad to see it as well, because they're kind of like the Patriots of MLB, it feels like. Yeah. But I want to say they're dead, that their team's dead, but I don't believe it yet. They have a serious work to do, but I'm not 100% sold on the Pirates being, this team that's going to win, have a 600 win percentage. Would I be surprised if the Cardinals have an insane month where they go, 21-5 or something like that? No. And so I'm not going to pronounce them dead, but it's getting very close, very, very close to saying, man, Cardinals, like, good luck. See you next year, kind of thing, right? Like,
you're right.
10-23. That is there. We talked about the Royals and the A's are the only two teams with less than double-digit wins, and the Cardinals are right there with 10 wins only.
Yeah. That's a tough break, because, like we did say, I think we said a bunch last time, like, you're not going to win your division in April, but you might just lose it. And a lot of these teams that are hovering around 10 or less wins are definitely flirting with disaster. That's for sure. So, gents, that's about it for our wrap up on like players that we're watching, teams we're identifying. Do you guys have anybody else that's really popping out for you, or do you guys want to move on to some of the data that we have pulled out here?
I do want to say shout out to the Angels being tied for first. We didn't really talk too much about the AL West, but Angels are tied for first. Astros are right there. Mariners, who a lot of people had as like the second best team in the AL, are they're only 3.5 back as well. So that's going to be another interesting division of to watch there because we know what the Angels could do with Otani and Trout. We know the Astros are just always in the ALCS. We just talked about the Mariners. So yeah, the Rangers being at 18 and 13, another interesting division to watch. I'm very curious to see how that one plays out over the next month or so.
So, and another question that I have for both of you. So, I saw something on Twitter the other day. Is Trout and Otani not playing so well recently? Or I heard they won a big one where everybody else played and they like didn't play that well. Or did I just misread something?
I think Trout's still on fire. I mean, he is.
I think they're still both playing well. I think I know
Okay.
what tweet you're talking about, though. There was one game in particular where
That might be it.
Shohei didn't play and Mike Trout was hitless, and the Angels still won 5-1. Granted, they were playing the Cardinals, who are not looking great right now. But it's nice to see the Angels completely 180, flip the script on what the story of every game for them has been over the past couple of years with Otani and Tao doing everything they can with them still losing like 7-5.
Right. And it's amazing that they're like, tied for first place in the AL West now. In like for a week or so there in April, the news was all about like who's getting Otani next, like that they already were selling him. They're already shipping him off. And that's a very like mid majors of the MLB type thing to do where you get something valuable and instead of winning, you don't like winning. You just would rather trade it and get more assets to be mediocre. Like that's just the way that some teams are built, and that might be how the Angels are built. But it's good to see that they're winning. Hopefully they kind of do something with two of the best players the MLB has seen in decades. So
yeah. And also the Houston Astros are getting a little bit weaker with Luis Garcia getting Tommy John. So that's going to be a big loss for them. That's one of their best pitchers on the roster. And at 17 and 15, this isn't the start that they expected for this team. But, maybe further down the line, they're still kind of in it. They go on one big stretch and, take the reins on the division. But, big shout out to the Rangers and the Angels for holding that down so far. The Rangers particularly have been their experiment is working out very well so far.
Yeah. So what is up with the Rangers? Why are they pacing this division right now? That seems unlikely for them, at least from some of their past performances in the division.
Well, everything they needed to go right with their offseason moves so far is going right, with the exception of, I think, Jacob deGrom is on the 15-day IL. But other than that, the pitchers are doing well. The offense, they are very potent on the offensive side of the ball. And one of the players that I think was really key to it, even though you have the likes of Marcus Semien and Corey Seager on the offensive side, I think Adolis Garcia in the cleanup hole every day would be the biggest part. If he's really clicking and if he's like hitting the ball as he should be, driving runs in, this team is going to go very far. And, he's doing that so far this year. He's got a 790 on base plus slugging, which is very good to this point so far. So, it's a good combination. As we said, timely hitting, timely pitching. But it's a little bit different for the Rangers because it's a lot of timely hitting.
It's so timely that it's like they planned this shit out. So
right.
You love to see it, and man, I like seeing the middle of being a tortured Rockies fan. I love to see the middle class of the MLB flourish, and I feel like even though the Rangers are kind of maybe they have been at the top, they've been at the bottom. I'd like to kind of categorize them in there too. So I'm ecstatic. I'm giddy. And I absolutely hate the Astros too. This show's really delved into just teams that I hate. More than
this is the most biased show you'll find on the internet.
It's so biased. But they know that, B. I run shows on all types of sports. Nobody that comes in here knows or doesn't know that I am gonna hawk whatever teams I'm feeling at the time. But I guess that's just the degenerate gambler in me. But anyway, so that does it. Now we've wrapped up all the teams that we like. Yep. Yo-Ye doesn't like the Astros either. Yeah, down with the Astros.
Let's go.
Yo-Ye gets it. So we wrapped up the teams that we're talking about. We're going to talk about some of the data from some of the new rules and things that we've been talking about. Why don't we break down some of the rules that they did institute? I know they added the pitch clock, obviously, and some of the other things. Why don't you break down what we're seeing with the data and what those rules are showing in terms of like things like attendance and whatnot?
Yeah, for sure. So I think at the end of the month, last month, Front Office Sports, which is very good with attendance and just data about the business side of sports, they released an article about the changes as a result to the new rules in attendance and viewership, and most importantly, game time for me. So as for the new rules, the biggest three things that they added was a pitch clock, the bigger bases, and ended defensive shifts. So this would mean for a more exciting offense, faster paced game, and people getting home seeing a lot of runs within 2.5 hours, and so far has been pretty successful. Right now, games are averaging about 2 hours and 36 minutes in length. And last year at the same point, it was 3 hours and 5 minutes at the same.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy.
They shaved off 30 minutes
honestly,
of game time.
In my opinion, that is going to save baseball. That is going to save baseball. From a completely casual fan standpoint, I cannot dedicate 3 hours of my life to you every day. I'm sorry. I love it, but I got shit to do. So having it down to 2.5 hours is amazing. And I think that also helps with I'm going to be more willing to go to a game now and spend my money at the stadium, knowing that my entire afternoon or my entire evening isn't absolutely, trapped to this seat. Like I can go and, enjoy the culture of baseball and then get to watch the game and then get to go and do something in the city after. And I think that that's a big selling point that a lot of these teams need to lean into, is that, hey, you're coming out to see your city, not necessarily just the baseball. So I think that that's a really great tidbit of that.
Right. And, kind of adding on to that, the rules have also added more runs to the game. Scoring is up to 9.1 runs per game compared to 8.2 last year, which makes for a much more entertaining game. Stolen bases are also up to 1.4 per game from a little under 1, which is the highest average since 2000. So that's making for a more entertaining game right now, and people are tuning in. Game telecasts are up across the board for TBS and ESPN, and attendance is up as well right now, about 5% from last year. So, the rule changes are working right now for me. It's making it for a much more digestible game, a more entertaining game. The one thing I will say is that now that you have the pitch clock and much shorter games, you no longer need the ghost runner for extra innings. Get rid of it. I hate that. That's one rule change that I do hate that they introduced a few years ago.
Yeah.
You no longer need the ghost runner because the games are there's more runs coming to the game as it is with the new rules, and you just don't need that runner there anymore.
And that's a good point. And Mike, I want to get your take on this because I know that, we dabble in a lot of football. Anybody that doesn't know, Mike Burland here is the head dynasty analyst here at Important Nonsense, and he does an amazing work, and he sweeps up our dynasty league every year anyway. But Mike, I know we talk about this with football all the time. The league wants more scoring, but I feel like they try to force it by making goofy penalties and weird calls and things like that. I cannot stress enough how good the MLB is doing it by making these changes more naturally to the game to facilitate more runs. And B, you put it perfectly. Take the runner off of there because that's the indication of like, I'm trying too hard to force production on offense, as opposed to like, hey, do these things. We're going to make the pitch clock a little faster. You can't do all this shifting. Like, I think that aspect of the game has really helped increase it. Mike, what's your take on these rule changes and what they're doing for the game?
Yeah, with the ghost runner, I actually like the idea of a ghost runner, but maybe like implement it if the game goes to like 12 innings and then especially during the regular season, because I forget if they introduced it last year or 2 years ago, but they were talking about like how there's been the percentage of games going beyond like 11 innings was like very, very low. And for a regular season game, like if your game goes like 16 innings, that could just it can kill your bullpen. It can kind of ruin your team for an entire week. So my thing is, all right, let's just have normal rules, maybe in the 10th, 11th. If we get to the 12th and it's still tied, throw a ghost runner on there during the regular season so we can kind of get this game over with. And then playoffs, I think it should be completely out. There's no way you can have ghost runners on because it's almost like a given run for the most part. And it's just like, it's tough. It's tough to watch. So I think they should get rid of it for the playoffs and then maybe, again, have only a couple innings or something like that. So these games aren't going 16 innings. Everything else I love that they've done. We talked about the game time being 30 minutes shaved off of the game time, which is awesome. And also no action at all is being lost. That's important to know. Is like there's no action being lost. I know people were worried about like, oh, if I go to the bathroom, I miss half an inning, and it's like, yeah, that's part of that could be a problem. But I think technology is improving. I've been to games where you can order at your seat, you can order beers, you can order food at your seat. If they get better at that, that's going to really help because you don't want to go stand in a line and miss a whole inning of action. So, like Brenden said, like the stolen bases are up, which I think I mentioned this last time was when they polled like baseball fans, that was like the one thing they wanted to see more was stolen bases because it's a really exciting play of like you're challenging that catcher to throw you out, and you want to see guys stealing bases, and it just adds so much. Like it's one of the reasons why the Diamondbacks have been so much better, so good this year is they were near the top of stolen bases. It's like, yeah, if you can get on base, you turn a single into a double, like that's huge, So I absolutely love it. I do feel like they need to have a little bit of feel sometimes. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Cody Bellinger, who's on the Cubs now, he's been on the Dodgers forever, won a World Series with them. People in LA love him. He went back to LA, and his first at bat, they gave him a standing ovation. He steps out, tips his cap, and then the umpire calls him for a violation.
No, they didn't.
Because he wasn't in the box. He wasn't in the box ready to hit. And it's just like, come on, man. Like, feel the moment a little bit of like, yeah.
Dude, next change is robo-ums. That's what I mean. Come on, man.
It's like have some
who
feel.
are you, dude? Big timing it. You know what's funny is actually, speaking of Mike, I don't know if you remember this, but B, this was before your time. So we were playing around with an idea for merch a little while back when we started getting into baseball. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it was like a picture of Angel Hernandez's strike zone, like of his missed pitches. And it said victory is within the margins. And it was hilarious. It was honestly one of the best ideas. I don't know if we ever actually put that out or not, but it was honestly the best thing ever. And that can't happen. That can't happen in any sports. I don't know where umpires or referees or anything get off to making the game about them, but that's obscene. In somebody needed to go and talk to dude after that because that's not reading the room at all. But I'm right there with you guys. The changes have been amazing. Like the fact that the casual baseball fan, and to be like, hey, I don't want to go to the bathroom and miss some of the game. Like that's entertainment for you. Like if you don't want to miss the movie that you're watching, or you don't want to miss the basketball game you're watching, like plan accordingly. That's like how it goes. But I'm super ecstatic for all the changes that we've been. And guys, that kind of wraps up the the serious part of the stuff that we're talking about. Now we get to do some fun things. Just pee in your seat easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I think
Yeah.
that's the answer right there. Or you got enough beer bottles, like let's figure it out. So, but now we got some fun things to do. We were talking about the City Connect jerseys the last time. And we're going to jump in and we're going to make a little tier list of the jerseys that we're liking so far. So I have Brenden found a nice little tier list maker for us. Here we go. And StreamYard. Hold on, everybody. There we go. I don't like the new one. Sorry, StreamYard. I'm going to use the old one. But so yes, so we have a tier list running right here. And I'll even pull up some of the jerseys here, and we're going to go through them and rank them with what we are feeling, what we like the best. And we're probably not going to spend too much time on it just because we're definitely heading over an hour here as we speak. But we want to hit this because this is fun, and I know that we were all really interested in the swagginess of what they were pushing out here. So we have some starters. We can go down the list, but I was thinking maybe we should get everybody's favorite out of the way so far. So let me zoom in here just a little bit so everybody might be able to see. And of course, I've got ads. Okay.
Of course, these choices are about to be biased.
Of course they are. Okay, so here we go. We're a little zoomed in. B, let's start with you. Which jerseys are really, okay, wait. All right. Let's make an initial rule, though.
Okay.
We cannot pick our own teams.
Got it. I
Okay.
can do that.
There we go. So now, with that being said, B, which jerseys are really popping to you? Which one is your favorite? Which one are you, supporting to buy? Like, I think some of these are pretty swaggy that I could wear out like on a regular night. Like, what are you loving on this set?
I feel like for me personally, I like the Miami Marlins. It was one of the first ones, and the bright red with the baby blue. It's just it was one of the best. It's gonna be one of the best. It was one of the best from the get go, and it's just such a vibrant color. It fits. So I'm definitely going Miami personally.
And at first I didn't like it. I know we talked about this a little bit. I thought it was a little
up San Diego.
Wait, what? Oh, I picked
pulled up
San
San
Diego.
Diego.
Whoops, my bad. The Miami one. My bad.
We know you love San Diego.
Wait. No, I like the Miami one. I don't like the San Diego one. Never mind. I got myself mixed up. We'll get back to that one in a second. I do love the Miami one. I like that they really fit in the color. The pinstriping is sick. I'm a sucker for pinstripes, and I think the fact that they threw the pins in there is super nice. It's a unique color, and I like jerseys that have a lot of pop. Mike, what do you see when you see this Miami jersey? Are you liking the Miami one, or is there another choice down here that you like a little bit more?
No, I do like the Miami one, and I was doing some research on kind of like the inspiration of them, and apparently it's like tribute to like a AAA team that something a AAA team of the Reds or something that played in Cuba for a while. That's where like the design of this this jersey, and obviously there's that huge Cuban influence in Miami. So I definitely like that. They're in my top 5-ish or so. I like both of Brenden and Mason. I like both your team's City Connects. They're probably my two favorite, to be honest. But my favorite is probably the White Sox. Just the black, the South Side, and that like Gothic font, the pinstripes. It's just it's a pretty nice look.
It's
the
clean.
White Sox jerseys. Yeah, White Sox jerseys in general are really nice, but I love that pinstripe South Side and the Gothic font. Super clean jersey. So that's probably my favorite City Connect jersey.
It's definitely clean, and I love the font too. I think the font is so spot on for them that not a lot of teams I don't take into account that. Man, this speaks White Sox right here, and I love the pinstriping too. We already talked about the pinstriping, and I don't want to keep gassing us up. And I know I just literally said that we're not going to pick each other's things. So at first, I picked the San Diego one. The San Diego one's not my favorite, but I do want to speak on it because we talked about it the last time a little bit. So with this San Diego City Connect jersey, at first I was like, I don't love it. I don't love the pastels. I don't really think it screams baseball. But then the brain started turning and I went, oh wait, the old heads must hate this jersey. And then I was like, bro, that's gotta be the best jersey because the old heads hate it. So I'm definitely throwing San Diego up here in the A tier. It's maybe not my favorite, but I definitely think it deserves the cred. Mike, what do you think of that? Is that a jersey you're going out to buy?
I mean, I got the hat already.
The hat.
So
yeah,
we both got our own City Connect hats on right now.
I like it. I love it.
I told you the Latin players, they look amazing in this.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could pull off that jersey. I just don't look that great in it. I will
Mike,
say
you would look wonderful in pastels. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it at all.
I love the hat. A big criticism of it was like, how does this connect with San Diego? Which is a reason why I like, the Chicago, the Colorado jerseys a lot because they really do connect with the city. What they were going for was trying to connect it with like Baja California with Mexico. So that's where like the colors of like you see all these colors here in Mexico, Baja California. The pink and the yellow and the mint it's just a very colorful country. So they're trying to, which is very smart of them, trying to connect it with Mexico. They played a series last weekend in Mexico. They wore these jerseys. It looked awesome. It doesn't connect a whole lot with San Diego, but if you throw in that idea of like, they're a border town, San Diego, Tijuana, trying to get that Mexican, they're a very popular team here in Mexico now because they're trying to make that connection to Mexico. So I agree. I think A tier is good. I wouldn't put it in S because there's that lack of like, where's the connection to San Diego? Sure. But other than that, I like A tier because I do like the color scheme for sure.
And and you bring up another one, Mike. I hate this. I hate this jersey. I hate the Colorado jersey. And maybe it's because I want it to be purple, and I feel like if it was purple, it'd be better. But I definitely do see why they're like the connection because it is very like green here and
pine trees.
A lot of trees and things like that. I have a soft spot for bright colored jerseys. Yoye, that brings up a good point. All the men out there, guys, get more pastels in your life. Seriously.
Absolutely. I agree.
Ramp up your closet with some pastels. So I love the jersey design of the Colorado one. I really love how it like uses the negative space on the shoulder as like the mountains and as like the display, but I can't get behind the color. So it's going to be like maybe like C or B, but I guess let me get B. What's your take on this one? I know that you're going to you have a lot of style, B. So tell me, where are we slotting the Colorado jersey?
I'm in agreement in that I think purple would be much better for this one. Even like a hint, if you were to even have a hint of purple, I would put it A tier. If it were all purple, personally for me, it would be S tier. But I am in agreement with the B tier. I think they had it right with the design, and then the color just falls flat.
Yeah. And and I get that they like didn't want every color, like every city jersey to be like their color, like we talked about with the San Diego one. But then when you look at like the White Sox, like they didn't reinvent the wheel. No, they just took what they know and they made it. And I think that that's a really great like asset to it.
So the Rockies, the green is supposed to be, connecting to the pine trees of Colorado. The hat looks pretty cool, I think. I mean, you got the CO in the hat, and it's a different looking hat for sure. It was very polarizing. Apparently the logo and the font also pay tribute to the state's license plate. So there's that. I don't know if you're familiar with
no, Mike.
Colorado license plate.
This jersey is the same color as our license plates. Oh my god.
And the font apparently is as well.
Bro, okay. All right. It's down another
That's
one.
understandable.
I'm sorry, guys. The fact that now I see it, that this is literally a license plate jersey, I'm struck. And there's like a yellow patch on the sleeve, like the registration tickets. And God,
that's so sad.
Oh, guys, I'm sorry. We're gonna have to end this one. I'm I'm going through it right now. No. Okay. So anyway, we'll move in. We'll move into some other jerseys. I'm struck by that. That is wild. Okay. So I know one of them that we talked about a little bit was this is the Rangers jersey, correct? I think, right?
Yes, they dropped right after our last show.
Right. That dropped right at the last show. So what are you guys making of these ones?
I think they fumbled the bag personally. I feel like with the 2 drops this year so far, which we'll get into Seattle a little bit. I get the vision with the Texas one. If it were, I can't tell if it's cream colored or not. If it's cream colored, it gets a little bit of double points. I can't get behind the pants and the shirt combo. Personally, I don't like a lighter top and a darker bottom. It's just a recipe for disaster for me. And it's fine in my opinion. It's nothing special. I think this is around C tier for me as well.
I'm right there with you. I think that in all, I like the jersey. I don't like the fit. I think the fit doesn't work quite well. Mike, what are you thinking of this Rangers fit?
Yeah, no, I like the jersey as well. I agree with the pants, and overall the whole jersey together doesn't look great. Apparently, there's a lot of connection to the city though, which is interesting. I mean, they have like the April 21st reference, which I guess is the day Texas gained independence. And the date of first recorded baseball game in Texas. So there's a lot of connection to the city. So I'm willing to bump it up maybe to a B tier just because the idea of it is to connect it to the city, right? So
I do like, actually, I think we were looking at it the last time, and I might have looked into it a little bit more. You guys might have said, I don't exactly remember, but the level of detail that they did go into, like, I know you said that it was 3 teams, 3 like AAA teams, like smashed together in their logo and whatnot, and you can kind of see the different, like, I think like the patch on the shoulder is like kind of looks like a liger or something. It looks like a griffin or something like that. So I kind of like that. So I think maybe we'll move it up to B because I like the jersey. I don't like the fit though.
Yeah,
I think that's a good agreement there. All right, and maybe we won't run through all of them, just because I know that we'll be here all day talking about better fits and whatnot. So
we need to put. Sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say we got to put the Dodgers in like the bottom tier, and maybe I'm biased. You guys can change that if you want. I don't know. I just think this one's just kind of boring. I know we talked about, the White Sox looks similar-ish to their regular jerseys, but this is just basically the Dodgers jersey. And they put Los Dodgers.
Los in front of it.
Dodgers, yeah.
And it's just like,
and they really don't have any alternate jerseys, and this being their alternate jersey is kind of a letdown. Yeah, it's kind of a letdown. I won't lie. So, yeah, I'm with you on that.
I completely agree, and I'm a little confused about what's happening with another powerhouse here in Boston. What's up with this jersey? Like, I don't hate the jersey, or I guess, but like, this isn't the right city for this jersey, maybe. I don't know what's up with it, but what do you guys think of what's going on here in the Boston jersey?
I don't know. It's confusing for me because, like, I have to know I think it's for the marathon, the Boston Marathon's colors, so it's yellow and blue. Which makes me like support it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's around a middle tier. It's nice. Like, the jersey on its own is nice, but like, I don't know how well a lot of people are pulling it off, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I feel and maybe it's because like it's the Red Sox and then it's just not like
It's no red whatsoever.
if you rub the name, if you took the name off, if you took the hat off or the logos or whatever, I'd be like, "Oh, the Brewers got a really cool New Jersey."
Yeah.
That's what I would think.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but otherwise, I'm not really feeling it. Any other ones that I really like? Look, like
Those are good.
no, I like the jersey. I definitely like the jersey. It's the same thing. Who at Nike was like, yeah, that works. That's cool. Let's do that.
I like the Mariners. I think is an interesting one. I think they have a pretty unique looking one. Are we talking the Brewers right now, or?
Oh no. We
Okay.
can. I was just pulling them up to. You like the Mariners though?
I do. I'm interested. I mean, the color combination is very different. They obviously have. Just looking at it, pulling up myself. I don't know where we want to put it. You guys can help me figure that one out. But just apparently, it comes from. It was a. They had a baseball team called the Pilots. It was like there for like 1 year, and then they became like the Brewers, and I don't know. Eventually, like went into the Mariners. So they have the Trident. I like the Trident logo, which it's kind of part of the Mariners following there. So I think it's an interesting City Connect jersey.
I like it. I like it too. And that's actually funny. I have to ask, why did they change it to the Brewers? Who makes their I'm trying to think. Who is it? Budweiser? No, Budweiser's in St. Louis. I don't remember.
The Brewers, if you're talking about.
Yeah, who brews? What company brews beer in
Miller? I think
Miller. That's
their
who it
stadium
is.
used to be called Miller Park before they changed.
Yeah.
it. So,
Okay.
I think it's Miller.
I guess. I mean, nobody really likes Miller beer anyway, but whatever. Anyway, I like it. What do you think, B? Where are we slotting it?
I think everything is S tier except for the pants. I feel like if they were to go with the same blue color as the jersey, or even like a cream or a white, it would be an S tier combination for me.
Yeah.
But the colors don't work. I don't think so. I think this is an A tier jersey.
It's tough. People don't realize navy blue does not go with a ton of things.
It doesn't.
It does not. And I think a lot of people think because you wear blue jeans a lot and like that's navy blue and like that goes with a lot of stuff. It just doesn't though. It's like it's a crazy mix for sure. And all right, let's see. Who else are you guys liking? B, you got one more. Well, I guess we'll all take one more.
I'll take one.
Who are you liking out of the crew here?
I'm liking the Washington Nationals. I love the pink cherry blossom vibe they got going on, and the details with the cherry blossoms in the gray of the jersey is very nice. And get more pink in baseball, to be fair. Of course, this is a little less than I would personally like, but they still do it very well. I think this is an A or S tier jersey for me. Depending on what you guys think, but yeah, this is one that I really love.
I mean, I definitely like it. I think it stepped outside of the box, and I'm all for anybody that's stepping outside of the box. Mike, we'll let you be the final decider here. How are you liking the Washington Nationals jerseys?
I really like it. That gray and that pink work well together. Obviously, the cherry blossoms, which is typical DC. You think of DC and cherry blossoms in the U.S. So, I'm all for it. I guess they apparently have the city's flag on the sleeve as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I'm fine with S tier. If you guys are fine with S tier, I think it's one of the better ones for sure.
Bro, how did they make a license plate jersey when the Colorado flag is so many cool colors? Now that I think about it, I'm upset. All right.
Fumbled the bag.
Fumbled it. Absolutely fumbled it. All right, Mike, on to your last pick. Who are you really liking here?
Let me just double check something really quick, but I think I'm gonna go with I like the Diamondbacks, the Serpientes across the sand color you got there. I don't think it's S tier necessarily, but I do like they're trying to obviously big Latino culture there in Arizona. I like trying to fit that in. And then just the color of the sand, that's kind of what you think of with Arizona, is just that kind of brown color, right? So I think it's solid. I think they could have maybe done a little better or something with like the hat, a little different design there instead of just the same logo, on the different color hat. But I don't know. What do you guys think about the Diamondbacks?
So I actually really I was looking at this one earlier, but I'm not gonna lie. As a very casual fan, I was like, I have no idea whose jersey this is. But I really like that the draw of the jersey is the script that they wrote the name in the the change of the name, and I think that that's awesome because it really lets that breathe. That's the focal point. It's super plain Jane. There's nothing to the jersey, but the script and the writing in the name. So I really like what it does there. I kind of like where we slotted in here. What do you think about it, B?
I think this is by far and away the best Diamondbacks uniform that they have. I'm not a fan of any of their other uniforms, and this is a very nice breath of fresh air. You have like y'all said, the sand coloring, the red in the numbers and the font. It's just it's very clean. It's a very clean jersey to have.
Yeah, I agree.
The S is a snake too. It's a
yes, it is.
Snake. I didn't even realize that.
Oh, it is. It does. It is. And let me see if I can't zoom in more here. Oh, never mind. Gonna mess that all up. It does not want to go past 300%. All right. Who is this, by the way? I have to ask you guys. Who is this?
That's
one?
San Francisco Giants.
Yeah.
That's the Giants. I really like the jersey, but I hate the Giants.
I'm not a fan of that one. I think that I think they fumbled with that one. That was the inspiration for that. I think was like up in the clouds with the Golden Gate Bridge, but I think they could have done it a lot better than they did.
Oh, that's not really a great reasoning. But
the G is like there's some fog coming in. I'm just like, really? Is that the number one thing about San Francisco you want to highlight?
Right. I kind of liked the fade, but if that's the reasoning for it, it becomes ultra corny very quickly. Yeah. Very, very quickly. So I think that I like the Brewers one. The baby blue, the yellow. I think it screams what they do. And I like the font. Like, I like that the teams that are like stepping out a little bit, like doing, like still keeping their vibe, but then stepping out and making something cool. Like, that's what alt jerseys are supposed to be. Not this, I mean, they honestly need to make regular jerseys cooler anyway, but like, I really like just stepping out, but still staying within their own realm. And I'm a sucker for baby blue. Like, this reminds me of old Nuggets colors. And I'm like, go back to the Nuggets colors because I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah.
So.
And the Brew Crew, it's a cool.
Yeah, the Brew Crew, use the nickname. I think it's tight. I really do like it. I think it hits. And this guy is so happy to be wearing it. Like, he's ecstatic. He's so happy. But so I think we're going to leave it at that. Maybe we'll touch back in here and fill it in a little bit later. I'm not even sure how to save this, but we'll figure it out. Maybe I'll go back and look at it. But so yeah. So that does it for our nice little tier list. That was fun. That was a good time. And there we go. Now I get the settings back to normal. It always weirds me out with their new settings. But anyway, so that about does it for us today, guys. That was a lot of fun. I had a good time. We definitely broke down a lot of stuff. And every time I get to talk to you guys, I get to break down baseball a little bit more. And I'm definitely falling back in love with it. Because like I said, I used to be a huge baseball fan. Been a more casual fan lately. But I really love talking to you guys, getting into it. And I know everybody else enjoys listening for sure. So that does wrap us up. We're going to be back. It's not like every other weekend. It's, give or take. But we're going to be back. We're coming back all the way through October, so you guys aren't going to want to miss it. Check out Brenden and the entire IN team. Brendan's got all of his work up on importantnonsense.com. Like I just said, B dropped a brand new piece on the White Sox. You're definitely going to want to go check out how a tortured White Sox fan writes about his own team. Otherwise, no need to join our Patreon anymore, guys, because we cut out the middleman. We started a brand new site, importantnonsense.com. Go to /supporters. That's how you get in on all of our content and all of our stuff. and you're definitely going to want to check it out. I know Mike's got some stuff in the chamber here for some of the off-season stuff that we're going to be going to as we get into camps for Dynasty and as we get into Dynasty drafts and whatnot. And B's going to be holding it down with all the baseball stuff all season long, so you definitely don't want to miss it. Otherwise, shop.importantnonsense.com. Oh, actually, wait. No, we changed that one too. Forget that. You can get all of our shop directly on the website, importantnonsense.com. Use promo code BASE, and that's how you get a nice little bonus and some money off there. So definitely go check out our merch. Yeah, that about does it, gents. Mike, do you have any parting words for the people at home?
No, I mean, we are past the NFL draft. We're going to get into that NFL dead season, and it's all about baseball. So I'm looking forward to talking about some more baseball here as we get closer to the summer.
As we get closer to the summer, and Mike, I'm going to take you down in our Dynasty League this year. Don't you worry about it, as I just took Anthony Richardson with the 1.02 in our Dynasty drafts just minutes before we went live. That's why Mike was shaking in his boots at the start of the show. B, do you have any parting words for the people at home?
As always, thanks y'all for watching. Thank y'all for coming through. And, fun April, hopefully a fun March, and a fun season looking ahead. And always remember, ball go far, team go far.
Ball go far, team go far. Steve, if you're watching this, new merch, baby. Ball go far, team go far. That's what we love. All right, anybody. Love that you guys came out. Thanks for coming out. And until next time, keep up the nonsense.